be said to let your soil rest occasionally, but since about the Dust Bowl, soil scientists have realized that you don't want to let your soil rest. In fact, what you're really doing is kind of starving your soil. We need to feed our soil, or more importantly, we need to feed the bacteria and the organisms that live in a healthy soil. Anytime we have bare soil like this, it's prone to erosion either by wind or water. You can see this summer on our Hugelkultur that you may remember us building this spring, we've layered logs and compost and soil and other shrubs and sticks to make this Hugelkultur in order to build our soil. And last spring we planted some cucurbits. You can see that there are still some growing that have helped cover that soil. We've also, because we were dealing with just organic matter, had a lot of weed seeds growing. We've killed out those weeds now, and you can see we also have some mushrooms growing, and that's a good sign. That means that all that organic matter is starting to decompose, because mushrooms are decomposers out in nature. So in order to prevent erosion this winter, we want to make sure that we're continuing to feed our soil, and the best way to do that is keep something living in it. This winter, we're going to put crimson clover on our Hugelkultur. So we've got about 7 ounces here measured out that we're going to spread all over this. And we selected crimson clover because it is somewhat drought tolerant as well as shade tolerant. And you can see that we are, while it's on the west side, we do have a large grove of trees next to us here. All summer long, we never watered this, and we don't intend to water it this winter. So we think this will make a good cover crop. More importantly, clover is a legume, which means it fixes nitrogen. We've purchased a pre-inoculated crimson clover seed, and if you don't have yours already inoculated, you want to make sure to do this, especially if you're planting it in a location that has not previously had legumes in it. This will allow that beneficial bacteria to be in there with the legume to ensure that it fixes the nitrogen. And it works with a rhizobial bacteria in order to do this. And what that means is it actually pulls atmospheric nitrogen out of the air and down into the roots, making it more available to plants. The nice thing about this is we need more nitrogen in our Hugelkultur because currently the nitrogen tends to get tied up as we are decomposing that carbon material. So the more nitrogen we can put in here, the better. Now, the nitrogen that you get from legumes is different than synthetic nitrogen. This is a slower process. So when this clover grows this winter, next spring it will start to bloom, and that's when we'll incorporate it into this Hugelkultur, adding more organic matter. So we're gonna just kind of scatter this seed throughout this Hugelkultur, and with a rake then I will kind of gently work it in a little bit. It doesn't need to be worked in too much. And I'll continue this around the rest of the Hugelkultur. Now in our ornamental crops garden, we actually used winter rye as a cover crop. Winter rye is also a great cover crop, as well as hairy vetch and Austrian snow peas. For more information on winter cover crops, check out this fact sheet.
We hope you enjoyed this video. It's part of our Oklahoma Gardening YouTube channel. You can also find even more videos on our OK Gardening Classics YouTube channel. And join us on social media for great gardening tips, photos, and discussion.